Indian pharma is one of the most underrated industries across the globe in the sense that,
We
like
are
we
the
talk about,
world's pharmacy. Like,
yeah. So and I'll tell you why, right? So normally speaking, of course, we talk about Chinese being copiers and stealing IP from tech companies and all that. Will we Indians have been doing it for a lot longer
yep,
with the pharma industry?
yep,
So because the patent laws in India are, relatively weak, what ends up happening is a lot of times we end up manufacturing drugs, taking the chemical composition from the American companies for a lot lower cost,
yep.
and we end up, exporting it to a lot of countries which need it, or selling it in India itself, which is a huge market. And of course, we're a democracy, so that's another advantage why this has happened. But I see its impact. First, I saw it during COVID, where I did not think that the Indian pharmacies had a very robust research and development process because they never had to research and develop, right?
Yep.
And I did not think that the COVID vaccine, which Indians were able to develop, they could actually capitalize on that the way Pfizer did, or the way a lot of other companies did. Uh, from a business, I'm strictly talking from a business standpoint. I have no idea about the effectiveness and all that. But what I'm saying is, if anything, this just highlighted that in the end of the day, if you're not a product, or if you're not a R&D led company which is constantly looking to solve newer and newer problems, you're gonna get fucked.
Yeah, you'll have to innovate to survive. Otherwise,
Exactly. And this, what you're seeing, Indian pharma growth being affected despite being in COVID time. Being in COVID time, they should have had like such a huge change in growth. And I see, just single digit growth numbers here. It's bullshit.
yep.
Like, I don't even know what to say. Like, how can you have such a low number being a pharma company during COVID times? The reason for that is they have no clue how to innovate, and they were waiting for the US companies to innovate. And what US companies were very smart this time is after they innovated, they didn't send the formulas or they didn't patent it immediately. They got it protected by the government itself.
Right.
They are not idiots over there. If you think वो कॉपी करके हो जाएगा, घंटा हो जाएगा. वो बस थोड़े साल तक चलाओगे, फिर क्या, इट इज गोना गेट अफेक्टेड. एंड दीज बिगर गाइज, once they once they make a lot more money, they'll start fighting with you in the courts of law, in
Yep.
your local government. Like, you, in local government can be bought up if you have sufficient cash, guys. I mean, आपका relation उतनी देर तक ही चलेगा आपका.
Yep.
So I really hope that, this changes, and they end up investing. One of the reasons why like, I cannot believe that IT boomed in India and biotech didn't.
Yeah. Very true. Very true.
It's like, what the fuck? Like, it doesn't add up. The reason it didn't was because of these fuckers. Like the way they would end up treating R&D and research and actual development. They would spend. This is the case even in the US, but they would spend like 10 times, 20 times, 100 times more on sales team and marketing team instead of, smart doctors and people who could actually develop drugs for you. What do you think
Right.
about this?
Yeah, man. Totally agree. Like, unless there's innovation, there's you can't really survive. Only the paranoid are going to survive, right? So
Yep.
you have to innovate.
So, moving on, let's check out, Mint. Any specific story which you came across, Siddharth, which you would want to cover?
No, no, not really. We can just go through the newspapers.
Of course, uh, I can see Pesa Bazaar ka ad. Oh, let's talk about this. Okay, so I have the Mint open with me.
Share screen.
Yeah. So, do you think Russia is very serious about this?
Yeah, dude. Like that's what I'm trying to tell you. Like, and I just read yesterday that the Ukraine fired a few mortals.
Oh,
Uh,
fuck.
so once there is firing and if the battle begins, there's no going back. I think. So yeah.
That's going to be very interesting, actually. Uh, Let's talk about this. So, adding on to what we were speaking, uh, Zerodha and Zoho. Now, Zoho is like Bap, okay?
Yeah.
And then
Even
Zerodha is
zero
the other
da.
Bap.
Yeah.
Now,